Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Mohsen. Today, I'm going to talk about different kind of room. We have room, of course, we have room, but there are different kind of room. Okay, let me explain to you. What are the 7 different kind of room? There are several of them. First one, room that change your identity. There are some kind of room that when you enter that room, your identity change. When you enter that room, you become father. Suddenly, just out of the blue, you become father. And when you exit that room, you are not father anymore. This is the first room. So we have different kind. This is the first room that when you enter, you become father. When you exit, you are not father anymore. But the second one, room that change your voice. When you enter a room, you have a good voice. When you exit that room, you don't have good voice, or vice versa. When you enter that room, all of a sudden, you cannot sing. You cannot sing. And when you exit that room and you go to another place and you have a good singing voice, voila, miracle. And other places you don't have voice. This is the kind of room that I'm talking about. Maybe when you hear this, you think of the shower, because everybody goes to shower and sing. In the shower, everybody have singing voice. I tried myself. So when you exit the washroom, exit the shower, then you don't have voice anymore. This is the magic of room. Some room have magical power. They change your identity, they change your voice. This is the magic of the room. Number 3, room that change gospel teaching. When you enter that room, you can give any information you want. And when you exit that room, you deny what you said before. This is another kind of room. When you enter that room, you say, "This is my mic, and I can say whatever I want." When you exit, then you are totally different person. But sometimes the room we are talking about, they are small, big, medium. We have different kind of room. I will get to it later. And then number 4, room that change your feeling. There is a room, when you enter that room, you feel cottagey. And then when you exit that room, you don't need and you don't feel that way. Because when you enter that room, you feel cottagey and you need a lot of vacation. When you exit that room, you don't need vacation anymore. Just you need to get to sauna. Number 5, room that tests your perseverance. There is room they call escape room. And then When you play that game, and we are playing that game again, we are doing that game every day. When you enter the escape room, you have to try hard to free yourself. That's the game. We are playing that game all the time. And number 6, room that makes you a good listener. There is a room that when you enter that, everybody can come and confess everything to you. And you can say, oh, your sins are forgiven. This kind of room. This is, I get to the size of the room later. Let me get into it later. And you become God. When you enter that room, you become God Himself. And you can forgive sins. And number seven and last one, room that make you believe know everything. There is a room that when you enter that room, you know everything. And when you exit that room, you cannot ask a question. So let me go further in these rooms. First one, I said, change your identity. It can be a small room, medium room, or big room. Size not important for the first one. Because all you need, a magical room, all you need is someone who is able to be hypocrite enough to wear a mask. You need, on the only need in that room, someone who is hypocrite enough to be someone else. Because when you enter that room, you change your identity. You become someone else, right? So all you need for that room is someone who is hypocrite enough that will be able to assume another identity. That's all you need. But number two that change your voice. Again, the size is not important here, but sometimes the small works better. When I was studying film school, there was a small room that when you enter that room, there was a mic in front of you and you do voiceover. There is a script in front of you and a mic, and then you do voiceover. I did this. I did voiceover. It was part of our curriculum in the college. We learned that in the college that how to do voiceover. And in that case, the room should be acoustic, the room should be small. But if you want to use a room that you lost your voice, again, the size doesn't matter. How big is better? Big as big as possible, then in that room, you lose your voice. You cannot sing anymore. Number 3, room that changed gospel teaching, I told you. So, especially for this one, you need a big room. A small room doesn't work with that. You need to have a big crowd, big building, big room, and then you need a mic and a pulpit. That's all you need for that room. So this room that I'm showing you, they don't have a lot of equipment. They don't need any equipment. Okay, so when you enter that room, a big room, you have a mic, and you have a pulpit. And maybe you feel like home in that room. And you can say anything you want. And nobody get offended. Nobody get offended. In number 3 room, nobody get offended. Nobody. And you can say whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. And nobody get offended. Because you feel like home in that room. But when you exit that room, no, there is no sign of home anymore. So in this kind of room, it might be transferable, might be station or any kind of room, but it should be so big, because small doesn't work like that. When you have a big crowd in front of you, you puffed, you are pumped up. When you have a big crowd in front of you, then you are pumped up. And then say, oh, I can say whatever I want because I have these crowd listening to me. I'm pumped up. And then, and then. When you exit that room, you get shy, you get quiet. Number 4, the size of the room. Room that changes your feeling. This kind of room normally is medium size. It's not big at all. You cannot have big room for number 4, because when you enter that room, you can say and then miracle happen. Whatever you dislike something in that room, miracles. Whatever, believe me, whatever dislike, a miracle happen that way. All of a sudden, miracle happen, and then you feel a cottagey. That's the interesting thing in that room. Always you enter that room and you feel cottagey, and you need a lot of vacation. But when you exit, then you ignore everybody. You ignore even your child. So that's different kind of room that you enter. And number 5, the size of room in number 5. Room that tests your perseverance. This is most interesting and my favorite room, because it's a game. It's not a real room. Just they made that room because they want to test you. They want to test you. They created that room, and we are playing that game every day. You have to try hard to release yourself. But when you exit that room, then you are free. Game over. Game over. And 6, room that makes you a good listener. When you enter that room, suddenly you became God. See, it is a small room, and you sit in that room. In every kind of room, normally there is one standing, the other sitting. But in that room, everybody is sitting. Number 6, everybody is sitting in that room. Every single one is sitting in that room, because you need to listen, and you need to be, one person should be God. One person should be God and listen to everybody, and then say, your sins are forgiven. And you become source of grace. Come on, come on, come on. And then when you exit that room, you condemn other people. Just in that room, you have grace, you forgive. As soon as you exit that room, you condemn other people. And number seven. Number seven, I told you about that. It's an interesting room as well. Because room that make you believe you know everything and ready to know all kind of. When you enter that room, you are a coach, a counselor, and you listen and you thank other people that they trust you and you know everything possible. You know everything is possible. But when you exit that room, when they ask you a question, I don't know. That's kind of room. That's number seven. When you enter room number seven, you know everything. But when you exit that room, even they ask you about things you don't know the answer about that question. I hope I can help you because I told you before that I'm going to show you the way. So I'm preparing a series, but just it was a gist. How can we find our ways? Even when we are in a maze. Sometimes there is a maze and we cannot find our way. So there is a map. We can find our way in the maze. Peace of God be with you all. Don't know. Post now. Post now. Post now. Wait,